Welcome to week 12, question 9. And here we're looking at applications of definite integrals. So we've been finding integrals when we're given derivative functions, but now let's have a look and see how we can apply them in a business setting. So here are a number of ways that the integral can be used. So when you have a function, you can see that the area under that function has a meaning or has an application based on what the function is that you've plotted. So the area under a marginal revenue function would give you the total revenue. The age distribution function, that area would actually give you the number of people who are in a specific age range in that population. Given the rate of growth of savings, the area under the curve would give you the actual savings that are had. The area under a demand curve would show the total amount of money that consumers are willing to spend. And the area under the supply curve shows the minimum amount that the manufacturers are willing to realize or put their product or service on sale for. So here's one of the first examples. Question 9 says the 2010 census for a particular region gives an age distribution approximated by this function, where age is x in years, and f at x is the number of people in thousands who are of that age. So this becomes important if you're going to be launching a product or a service. You're going to want to see what your demographic looks like in the area where you're going to start that business. So if you're starting a business that's specific for a certain age group, you're going to want to see how many people are in this population in that age group. And I would use maybe the example of a diaper service. So you don't want to launch a diaper service in an area where there are very few people in that childbearing diaper using demographic. So here we have the population of an age group in this region can be found by integrating this function over the interval for that age group. So in A, we're going to be looking at the integral, and we're going to be evaluating from the age of 90 to 0. And in B, we're looking at a smaller group, so a smaller slice of that area under the curve, where we're looking for population numbers between the ages of 40 and 30, or 30 and 40. And so let's go to the next page and we'll start working on this. Here we have the function, and we can see that it's a fairly basic function with power terms only. So we can take the integral of this function. So it would be negative 0.57. We know that that was multiplied by 3 in order to get the derivative. 46 divided by 2x squared plus 5123x. And in other questions we've always considered a constant, but in this case, while there may be a constant, when we are taking a value of f at 90, and we're subtracting f at 0, we'd be subtracting that constant away. We'd have c and then minus c. So we don't need to attend to that in these types of questions. So now if we simplified this function, we would say that this is 0.19x cubed plus 23x squared plus 5123x. Okay, so it says to evaluate it from 0 to 90. So that means that you're going to substitute x for 90, and we're going to subtract f at 0. So we can see that each term has an x in it. So f at 0 is just going to be 0. So let's evaluate this at 90. And you'll see the difference when we do the second part, when we're evaluating from 30 to 40. We are definitely going to have a bigger subtraction. Okay, so, and then this whole thing would be minus 0, because that would be our f at 0. And when we find the values of each of these terms, and we add or subtract, we've got a value of 508,860. So this would be the population in this region for people who are in the ages 0 to 90 years. Okay, so let's go to the next page, and we're going to evaluate this function for this part of the population, those who are between the ages of 30 and 40. So you'll recall that we had this type of question, or this type of notation. So again, that means that we are going to be evaluating the integral, which we have found here, from 40 to 30, to see how many people are in this region of that age group. So we've got negative 0.19, 40 cubed plus 23 times 40 squared plus 5,123 times 40 minus all of the same, where x is 30. And I'm going to put all that in brackets. And when we evaluate this and we subtract all of this, we find that the population is 60,300, and though that is the population of people in this region who are between the ages of 30 and 40.